The next several decades were ones of tremendous growth at Clemmons United Methodist Church. In 1976, the United Methodist Men's Group was formed, meeting for breakfast and tackling projects in and around the church. They are a group that is still growing strong today. The Cooper House parsonage next to the church needed overwhelming repairs. The combination of cost and asbestos remediation made our current parsonage unlivable. It was decided that a new one was needed. A house was found close by in the Clemmons West subdivision for the amazing 1970s price of $60,000. And because nothing should ever go to waste, a training exercise for the fire department was held, and the old parsonage was burned to make way for our new church parking lot. In 1978, after years of planning and fundraising, an architect was hired to design a new sanctuary. A final plan was chosen and construction began. A groundbreaking ceremony took place in June of 1978 for the new sanctuary that would cost close to $500,000. It included a seating capacity of 470, a fellowship hall, kitchen, and parking. The building was finished in 1979. The first service in the new sanctuary included our bishop, district superintendent, and other dignitaries. The Clemmons Courier called it a long way for a short walk. The service was filled with music, handbells, liturgy, and most of all, a thankfulness for our new home. Later that same year, the old chapel was delicately dismantled in order to preserve the beautiful windows and church bell. The bell, which is cast iron, is around 150 years old and now resides in our current sanctuary steeple. While our church plays electronic chimes that are programmed into a system, this bell must be rung the old-fashioned way, with a rope and a strong person on the other end. To say that church construction was not over at this point is an understatement. In 1985, enough growth had occurred to build a new educational building for children with a chapel attached. The building, which now houses children's Sunday school classes and the preschool, would have 12 classrooms, a new choir room, and a new chapel. A dedicated choir room space was a welcome sight for a growing choir. After even more growth and an acknowledgement that adults needed more classroom space as well, a visioning committee called Vision 2000 began a year-long process of evaluating needs and funds to address our growing church family. Groundbreaking took place in October of 1996 and would end up costing $2,856,000, which was under the $3 million estimate, probably for the first time in Methodism. Situated behind the sanctuary, the new education building would be 28,000 square feet, 2 floors with 13 classrooms and a fellowship hall. In 1990, the Hunter House next to the church was acquired, along with a tiny plot of land that included a family cemetery. Among those buried in the cemetery are Peter and Comfort Clemmons and Henry Eccles, who built Mount Pleasant Church, our second church home. Beginning as domestic projects, in 1991, church member Ken Watson began recruiting members for building teams to address local and state needs. Starting local, followed by going global, they addressed every disaster and every need they could find. Ken pulled people together to be the hands and feet of Christ in our community, state, and world. It's a 40-year tradition that continues today.